Good afternoon and welcome to my channel. I am Blue Lotus Vibes by Janita McLean. And tonight, for this video, I'm going to be doing something very, very special, y'all, for one of our favorite, most sweet mamas in the YouTube land. And it's Miss Shirley O.G. Gardner. So, if you would like to see how I did this shirt, stay tuned to this video and you will see how I did it. So I made this template and I cut out, it is for rhinestone, but I'm going to show you what I intended to do the last time I tried this, but I cut it on the wrong side. So what I did was I did glitter vinyl. I used my Cricut machine. Once I used the Cricut machine, I pulled the top piece off, which is your courier sheet. And now this is cardstock. So I'm going to neatly put this on my cardstock. I'm going to go around and cut off the excess that I do not need because I do not want it to stick on my padding that's on my heat press. So I'm just going to go in, give it a quick cut. Once you do that, you need your heat press to be, I'm going to have it at like 330, 335. And I'm going to do this for 30 quick seconds. And I'm going to show you the results. Okay, we went down for 30 seconds. Remember, this is cardstock. You want to be careful when you pick it up. And here you go. Now all you got to do is brush your rhinestones in. Once you brush your rhinestones in, you use your transfer tape, and then you can put it on whatever garment that you're going to put it on. And I shall return. So what I did was just stack a little bit on the top, right on top of the heart. Some, but not too much. Even though I have taped this down, and if you want to tape it down again, you know, in all corners, if you want to, just for safety measures. But I'm just going to take and hold this, and I'm going to just take and brush it in. And by me using glitter, it's able to grip the rhinestones and really hold them in. But after a while, I like to take my picker and just pick them and put them in there. But a lot of people like to use this brush or other brushes and just brush them in. But after a while, it just moves around too much for me. And I just like to take my picker and pick them in. All right, I think I'm going to use my picker because they just moving around. But I just wanted to show you how you can take your glitter vinyl and you can also take and make your rhinestone template right on there, because there might be times you cannot find the rhinestone flock, that you have to use alternatives for your rhinestones. I have successfully picked up the heart. Now I have put it on the back end of the transfer tape, and it is ready to be pressed. I'm going to move that to the side, and I'm going to get ready to brush in the rest of my rhinestones. And like I said, this is, let me make sure I'm saying it right, this is Dorado rhinestones from the baby's booty. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush all of that into this hand. Either brush or I'm going to use my picking tool, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. have completed the hand now with the Dorada rhinestones that are SS10s. I went completely around to make sure I didn't have any extra stones. Now what I'm going to use is my transfer tape that you have to put on the rhinestones. You cannot use regular carrier sheet or any type of regular vinyl when you are using or picking up your rhinestones. So I'm going to use this. I'll make sure I got a big enough piece. And I'm going to go straight down and pick up my rhinestones. And this is always a moment for me. All right, we're going to go straight down. Can't hesitate on it. You got to go straight down with it. And I'm just going to make sure all of my rhinestones did up here to the plastic, and that everybody is in their proper spots. And then we're going to be ready to press this. Okay, we are now at the heat press. We are going to press our rhinestones at 330 for 45 seconds. I have a shirt. I'm going to take the shirt out. And it is a red Hanes shirt. I'm going to take the tags off. I'm going to lift up on my heat press because what we're going to do is we're going to take the moisture out of our shirt. And I always like to take and fold my shirt. And in folding my shirt, it gives you a guide of where you want everything to go at. There's more or less like your center cheat sheet of where you would make sure that everything is lined up. So what I did was I took and I fold everything in half, making sure that my arms and everything else meets up properly. We're going to take and go in here like this. And I'm going to find my... Let me get my lint roller because I see some extra lint on here. And we want to make sure that everything is just right on our shirt. I'm going to roll everything off of here. So that's why I always tell you when you are getting your shirt out and you getting it set up to press, you always want to make sure that you take the moisture out. But while you are taking the moisture out, you can inspect your shirt. Make sure that there are no extra spots or any extra fibers or any pieces of string that might be on there. And another thing, I always go, and make sure y'all can see me, take my fingers and go 4 or 3 from the top. So I have it more or less set up that my line will go from here to here, so that I already know that I'm already not only putting my line down the center, but I'm also lining it up so I know exactly where my clothes need to start as far as my design. I'm going to just press it for a few seconds just to take the moisture out. Now when we go to put our shirt down, we are going to make sure that we have everything lined up and centered. And you never want to take and press the neck of your shirt. So we're going to take that and we're going to move that completely off because that is in the way. And not only is it in the way, but we don't need for it to be right there. I'm going to take the lint roller again because I do see a little bit more look like fibers on it. And we don't want that. So I'm going to take and do that. I'm going to pull this light up a little bit more so we can see. Okay, now. Something about my lighting I'm not liking today. Okay, make sure I got enough light going on here. Now, I'm going to take your center, go across and make sure I smooth everything out. And what I have is my Teflon sheet, which I'm going to need. I have also, okay, so we are back. I have the letters set up. Remember, we put our crease in the middle. Let me make sure that y'all can see me as we get this done. So we have our letters set up. We're going to make sure we got it lined up. You want to make sure that you're in between the arm. And you want to make sure you go right down the middle of where you have your line at. That is your cheek guide. Okay, I was counting my words because sometimes that'll help you too, so you'll know exactly how you want everything to go. So we're going to do this like this. I'm going to make sure that's in between. Going to make sure that's sitting right because this is a rounded shape type of design. I'm going to make sure that it is sitting just right, like we want it to be. Okay, so sometimes you got to pull it up and put it back down, y'all, a couple of times. Because you want it just right. So let's do this again. Let me see. Let me see if I can do it like this. It might be just... Okay, yeah, I'm right. It's in between the love and the me. The love and the me. So we're going to put that down like that. I'm going to get my Teflon sheet, which I got right here. And we're going to go down for a few. We're going to come back. We're going to put something on the arm. And then we're going to put the rhinestones in. Okay, we are done. Trying to let it cool off just a little bit before I pull it up. We're going to pull this completely straight off. There you go. And just like that, we are done with that. Put it in my trash can. And now we're going to put our rhinestone design right in the middle of that. So I'm going to pull this up just a little bit to give us a little bit room. Just a little bit. Let me sure I'm right. Okay, I'm going to do that like that. Make sure that's smooth around. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now I'm going to take my design. Because remember, we have a 2 different color design. We have our hand, and then we have our little heart piece that's going to go in. So I'm going to take and do this like this. I'm going to pull that off. Take our time. We don't want any of our rhinestones to get out of place. I'm going to move that out of the way. Make sure everything is turning like I want it to be turned. Okay, because 1 or 2 of them look like they wanted to get out of place for a minute, y'all. And we just gonna take our time. And we're gonna make sure we put this completely in the middle. And just like that. I see 1 of them wanted to get out of place. I'm gonna take and just flip that over. If not, I will come back once this is put together, and we will go back in and put him back down. Okay, we're just going to cover this with a Teflon sheet. Go down for 45, and I shall return. Make sure everything is covered. There we go. All right, and we'll be back. Okay, we have went down for 45. I'm going to take our Teflon sheet off. And it is hot, y'all. It is hot. We got to go back in But while we are putting down our other piece, which is our red heart, I'm going to fix this one little stone that decide to flip up and turn the opposite way. I'm going to take him, pull him right off, right here where he's at, and take and flip him in. And just like that, he's in the spot I need him in. I'm just going to take him, peel off the rest. Move that out of the way. And we're going to go in and put our little red heart right here. So I have the little red heart right here. Take my time because I do not want them to pop out of place. And we're going to make sure we line it up just right so it will fit right in the hand. I think I have like one stone out of place. But what I can do is get my, no, let me see if I can pull that out, because by this being a tight little area, we do not want this stone to be in the wrong place and it wind up getting stuck the wrong way. Let me see if I can find my tweezers, and I'm gonna pick him out, and then we'll go back in and put him where he needs to be at. So we're gonna move him out the way for right now, and make sure everybody else is lined up pretty much like they should be. Let me see. Go back in one more time. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with that. I'm gonna look over it one more time. Got one more that decided to turn up, but I can fix him once we finish. So pretty much we got everything in the spot where it should be. We're gonna use our Teflon sheet again. I'm gonna make sure I cover everything up. We're gonna go down, then we're gonna come back, put that stone into place who decided not to be in place, and then we're gonna move on. Okay, we're gonna go back in. We're gonna see what we need to change up as far as our stones. Okay, I have one that is not in place, and the other one that we have over on the side. So I'm gonna make sure I pull my light in a little bit closer, because we wanna make sure when we put these stones in that we put them in exactly where they need to be at. Okay, so I'm gonna take and pull this off of my transfer tape. Put him where he needs to be at, because we want our heart to be filled completely with all of our rhinestones. Okay, so I think he belongs right there. And now I'm gonna find the spot that the other red one belongs in. And that one is right here. We're gonna go down again. So whenever you have to refill in where your rhinestones were not, you always wanna make sure you just take your time and put that down quickly, because you don't wanna disrupt and get the stone out of place that you just put into place. And we'll be back. Okay, that is the beat. Y'all know what that means. That means that we are finished filling in our heart. Now I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna let y'all see that. That came out pretty. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of the arms, and I'm gonna take and hold it. Let me turn it around. I'm taking and hold it right on our heat press. I'm gonna make sure it's nice and smoothed out. Now, remember we already previously pre-pressed our arm pieces when I had folded it earlier. So I know I do not have to go in and refold it. But I'm gonna take and do this like this. I'm gonna see something, make sure that's how I want it. Or do I want it on the arm? I'm thinking I want it on the arm, but then again, I don't want it on the arm. I'm thinking that I'm going to switch spots. I did want that on the arm, but normally when I do an armband, I do it completely where it goes from this side to this side. So when you open up your arm, you can see that person's name completely on the arm. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this up a little bit, and I'm going to put this down here instead. I'm gonna make sure I take that tag off too, because those tags can be quite irritating. So I think I'm gonna go right here. Let me straighten this out a little bit so I can make sure I'm leveled out right. And then I think we're gonna take and put Mama Shirley name right here. I think that'll be perfect right there. Right there. Okay, we're gonna put that right there. At first I was gonna put the subscriber thing that I had right here, but I made it big enough so that it can go on the back of her shirt where Miss T originally wanted it at, and I think that'll be perfect. So we're gonna leave that. Sometimes you gotta do what's best and go ahead and leave well enough alone, honey. Let me move this up a little bit because I don't want my other vinyl to get stuck on my heat press, and we will be back. Okay, we have return with the beep. With the beep, with the beep, with the beep. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. Sometimes it be kind of hot, y'all. Kind of hot. Hot, 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 hot. And you definitely want to make sure you don't burn your hand on the rhinestones. Oh, my gracious. You don't want to do it. Okay, so now we have Miss Shirley's shirt almost done, y'all. Almost done. I think it's coming out pretty. What do y'all think? I think it's coming out pretty. We have her name on here. Now, there's one more thing left to do. We're going to put on the back, subscribe. But what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take and actually make that in like a sublimation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sublimate it on glitter vinyl. So I'm just basically making sure that I still have myself centered right. Remember that we made that line, that was our cheat. And I don't want it too far down and I don't want it too far up. So basically, I'm going to find what I feel is a good spot. And then we're going to go from there. So, of course, you're reading this backwards, if you can see that. Let me make sure. Of course, you're reading this backwards because with sublimation, everything is always printed backwards. But once you put it on, it'll be facing right. So I'm thinking that because we want to stay within between the shoulder blades. We don't want it up too high and we don't want it down too low. So this right here will be the vinyl that I put it on, which is your glitter vinyl. And basically I'm going to put this with this. I'm going to line it up to make sure that I am correct. I always take and look through to make sure that I have everything lined up right. And now I'm going to go ahead and put my vinyl down because I can put this vinyl down with the temperature that I am already on. I'm going to make sure that I got everything lined up right. So I'm just going to put a little cheap piece in the middle right there. Now that's going to be lined up right just the way I want it in between the shoulder blades. And let me look at this again. Okay, cool. Let me make sure I'm lined right. There we go. Now we're going to put this down for a few. We don't have to do 45. We're just going to do for maybe about 20 just to tack it down. And then I will be back to change my temperature because we're going to do 380 for 40 seconds on the sublimation thing. And here we go. Okay, I'm going to pull this up because remember I said we're not going to go the full because I need to now change the temperature. We're going to go to 380. And sorry if this beeping noise might irritate you a little bit, but I have to make sure that we go up and get set up for that. And we're going to do 380 for 40 seconds now. And I want to set that. So while that is getting ready, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to pull this off. Just trying to let it cool down some. And this, everything is going to go right in between here. Okay, now, I want to go around here. Because what I always like to do is use some type of cheat sheet border to let me know exactly where I need to go at. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to cut real close. Let me show you another thing you can use too. You can easily use a ruler when you are trying to make sure that you want to keep it lined up and you don't want it to mess anything up. And you can just go right in here like that with your ruler. I don't need to do that, but you can also use that with your vinyl as well. That's if you feel like you do not have a steady hand. You can use also an X-Acto knife. Anything you think that will help you in lining up your particular sublimation item that you are trying to put on to your sublimatable vinyl. So we're going to go in like that. I'm going to go in closer to this edge right here at the bottom. Still waiting for our heat press to go up. So far we are at 362. I'm just going to go in here real close. Making sure y'all can see that. Okay, go in here real close. So we make sure that we have where we need it to be. Now I know another thing I need to do, and that is because we do not, even though this is my glitter vinyl, I always like to make sure that I do not let any of my sublimatable ink go in my shirts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and pull this shirt apart. I'm going to take and put it right where my vinyl is. Like that. Make sure it protects the area that we need to protect. Smooth that down. Make sure we are in it completely. Make sure. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to take and... Okay, now we are now ready. Another thing you want to have is your heat tape. This tape is the tape that you would use when you are dealing with sublimation. They also have this in plenty colors, so they don't just have it in that color. They also have some in blue. And I'm going to go around here and around this edge because I need to see something. I need to make sure that my edge is lined up exactly with this other edge, so that when I sublimate onto it, we will have my cheat guide. I always like to give myself some type of cheat guide to line me up as perfect as possible. As possible. I didn't say perfect now. As perfect as possible to get where we need it to be. So we're going to do that like that. And you want to, like I said, you want to line it up. And make sure it's going to line up just right. So we're going to do that just like that. I'm going to scooch this up a little bit, because I remember that my line at the bottom is completely cut. Okay, so while I'm holding that down, I'm going to take the tape and I'm going to go across like this. And y'all excuse my ashy hands, y'all. I've been working hard all day. Been getting orders out and doing different things. So y'all do please excuse my ashy hands. Okay, so we're going to go across like that. And I don't know why this tape always does this, but I'm going to have to find a better heat tape than the one I have. But I didn't want to get any more until after I use this out. Because as they say, waste not wanting that. So I'm going to go across here. I just want to tape a little bit right there. Kind of hold us down in place. Go up here again because the tape trying to be difficult. And we're going to put that right there. And then I'm going to go over to the other side. And we're going to put that right there. And one more piece right there in that corner. We're going to put some butcher paper right on top of this. And then I'm going to put a Teflon sheet right on top of that. So kind of hold things in place, you know, kind of help it out a little bit. Because like I said, this tape that I'm using is not its best, but it will work. Okay, now we're going to take and put that down like that. Because we want to protect our plate. And we're just going to smooth that down, make you stay in place. I'm going to go with my Teflon sheet right on top of that. And remember, our temperature is 380 for 45 seconds. We're going to go down, and then I'm going to show you the finished product. Okay, we have went a complete 40 at the temperature of 380. We're going to pull that off because that is hot. We're going to pull this away. I want to make sure y'all can see this now. And we're going to take our little weak tape and see when we pull it up how this comes out. Okay now. And I think that came out pretty good. Now I'm going to show you the front real quick. We're going to first turn this off because, honey, that is hot. We're going to look at the front of the shirt. Remember, I have to take out that paper. But I think that this came out simply wonderful. I really think it came out wonderful. It has her name down here in the corner. It has a cute little rhinestone right there. And it has, show me you love me just a little bit. So if you love Miss Shirley just a little bit, I'm going to put her channel in the description. And I would love for you to go over there and check her out. Subscribe. Hit the like button. And put on your notification. Because guess what? Show her some love. And until y'all see me again, y'all know how I do. Y'all be safe in these streets.